Cabalfa, where I grew up. Also, the first place I tried heroin at a mate's flat behind me. It was a place we used to go to score a John. It was like a local chill out kind of place, you know, a little party flat. And the one time I went there was this lad I had met before who was smoking smack. He was booting, and it was offered to me. And being inquisitive, I thought, yeah, go on, and I'll try that, give it a go. The lad who ran it for me said, "Oh, how do you feel?" You know, I said, "I don't feel anything." And as I said that, it was just like sinking into a warm bath, where all your cares and your worries just drift away, and you're just in like a blanket of just feeling content and happy. And I suppose it removed me from the world, and I just felt secure.
From this point, Kev wanted more. Of all the drugs he had tried, he felt that this was the one for him. He found a dealer and began smoking heroin every day.
When I first found out about the heroin, I just wanted to die. This can't be happening to us, to my son. It's a terrible feeling.
When I was in this period of my life, I knew deep down that what I was doing wasn't good for me, and it wasn't fulfilling, and I wasn't happy. But that bit of me that was saying that, I just kept on pushing that down, pushing it back, pushing that thought away, and just thinking, just carry on and do it, like, you know, just fuck it, just get on with it, and just carry on, just use more, you know, you don't have to listen to that shit, you know, it's smack is what you do, you're an addict, just get on with it and do it and just take more. And it was really, it really kind of, I was, the bit of me that was kind of me, and as my personality from when I was young was getting less and less, and he basically just become an all-out junkie. You know, that's all that matters to you, not your family, not your mother, not your kids. That's what happened to me.
Over the next few years, heroin changed Kevin's whole life. It overtook him. It just really wasn't worth living. It was just existing. My mind was in turmoil all the time. I don't think there was a waking moment that I wasn't thinking about him. And the thought of having a phone call, which we expected all the time. All the time we expected a knock on the door or a phone call to say your son's been found dead.
One day, things changed for Kevin. He was with his mother on his way to pick up heroin when he made a life-changing decision.
I knew that I needed to do something about it, and I really wanted to stop. And I think the turning point came one day when she was driving me somewhere to score, and I gave her back the money, told her to turn the car around, and said I didn't want to get it. And that was what we did, turned around, and I did my cluck from there, and that was a Christmas week.
Kev's decision to stop taking drugs was helped by his increasing faith in Christianity. A friend who had provided great support for Kev got him in touch with a Christian residential rehab called Livingstones. It was arranged that Kev would visit the rehab.
And when I was chatting to two of the lads who were on that course, I had this kind of amazing feeling come over me of like a peaceful, happy, content kind of feeling, which was just awesome. You know, I hadn't felt happy and content in years and years since I was, you know, really young. So I knew straight away that I wanted to come to this place. I changed my mind. Told Tom, the manager, that, yeah, you know, I want to come, and I want to kind of come right now.
Something just changed in him. Call it a message from God, I don't know what. But I believe that something came over him and helped him on his way. He already had a faith, but something changed. There was something more that happened with him. And, well, it's wondrous. And from that time on, things just got better and better.
And from there, really, there was no looking back for me. I was coming down off my methadone on an agreed reduction of 10% every week. which I was happy with, which was my decision and I was in control of, which I think is the most important part of it. I was making decisions for myself. It wasn't people saying, "Oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that." That was paramount really in my recovery, that I was doing it off my own back because I wanted to, and the choices I made were my decisions. I found it quite easy to actually come off the methadone. I think I was ready to. I didn't want to stay on it for any kind of length of time after I was off the smack and the rest of it. So with the support and the help and the advice I got at the rehab, I managed to come off my methadone within about 5 or 6 months. And I've been totally off it now for about 6 or 7 weeks, and I just feel great. It's awesome not to have to go to a chemist every day and go to doctors. And I just had enough of that, you know. So it just feels really great to be free and not have to kind of have a ball and chain around your ankle to still have to go to a chemist and drink it in front of people and all the rest of it that comes along with a methadone script.
It's like having my young child back again in adult form, how he was when he was a little boy. He's exuberant again, he's funny, he's happy, he's chunky, he's healthy, he's put on so much weight. He is just oozing peace.
There's lots of different ways to get off drugs and different ways work for different people, but the main problem I encountered with all the different doctors and key workers, healthcare professionals I took my problem to was that they just seemed happy to put me on a prescription and to think I was sorted. And it didn't help, it made me worse. I had an extra addiction to deal with, whether it be Valium or methadone. It just made me worse. And it wasn't until years later I realised that until I sorted my mental addiction out, that the cycle of always trying to come off drugs and going back on them would always continue until I changed my mental addiction. And the only way I could see of doing that was to go to rehab. And it was at rehab I learned life skills and learned how to basically hand over my problems to God and expect him to give me the strength and the willpower to get through them. And that's exactly what I experienced. And for the first time in my life, since my teenage years, I'm drug-free, and I'm happy, I'm content, and I'm looking forward to my future. Instead of dreading tomorrow, I'm looking forward to it and where my life's going to take me and the options that have opened up for me.